What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. As promised, I said I was going to do this. I'm going to review the EIBACH lowering springs and the remap in a little bit more detail because I've had it on the car now for probably about a month. So we're going to talk about efficiency, ride, power, you name it. We're just going to have a good old chin wag. And yeah, and obviously I'll show you some shots of the car as well because it's looking a little bit better than it was before. So yeah, let's get in and get on with it. Okay, so first things first, as I go down this very, very bumpy road, let's talk about the lowering springs. Now, the way I said that, I'm almost setting you up for a fall, but I'm not actually. The lowering springs themselves have been really, really good. Like, just driving around as you do, like, every day, going back and forth to the shops, on just regular roads, nothing special. But yeah, the springs themselves have been literally no trouble. The only, like, I say issue, it's not really an issue because it's to be expected, is when you're going over speed bumps, obviously you have to slow down that little bit more. One, because the car is lower, and two, because it is a much harsher drop. Like, going up the bump, not a problem at all. But then when you come down it, it just feels like there's just no give really, and you can feel it like going through your back, like as you're coming down the bump. And then obviously if you don't miss a pothole, or if there's like a little curb in the road where they're doing some road works, those ones, they hit hard, man. The whole car shudders. But when you're just driving around the car, like literally now is like a prime example of how perfect it is. Like, I have no issues whatsoever. So I'm just going blind, man. The sun is reflecting on the flipping floor. Here we go, now we're going down a bump here. It just feels like there's just no spring left when you're coming down on that last bump. I don't know if the springs are rated differently because obviously you've got the engine at the front, so maybe they're a little bit more forgiving. Yeah, little bumps like that, no problem. It sounds exactly the same as how the original suspension was. Obviously, in terms of the look of the car now, it looks so much better. That absolutely disgusting wheel arch gap that was there before and on all stock ones is gone, is no longer there. The suspension is settled, is leveled out, is definitely lower than when it was first on, and the gaps are just, in my opinion, they're exactly where they need to be without being like obnoxiously low, you know, like when you put your car on bags and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that, there's nothing wrong with a bit of stance, but in terms of like just driving around and people not going, well, how'd you get in that then, mate? Then, you know, making stupid comments, I think it just sits right. One thing I didn't mention is how the car actually handles on the suspension. And I was just thinking, right, I'm about to go around some curly corners. And yeah, I can tell you from experience, the car handles nicer. It always handles well anyway because it's a Quattro, but like, I feel like I've got just a little bit more stiffness when throwing it round the corner, you know, like if you're mid-corner and then you still need to turn a little bit more, no stress, the car is pleased. Yeah, coming up to a really tight bend, throw it round here, it's stuck to the road, man. It is rigid, absolutely rigid. The only thing you've got to be careful of is going around the corner and then not seeing a pothole. Because if you do that, then trust me, you're going to feel it. But yeah, like changing direction, it's just great, man. The car just feels amazing. The remap and the suspension are probably the two best mods to start off with. Pulling over by here because this is where we made one of our first and, in my opinion, one of the best videos on the channel, which is the S-Class video. If you haven't seen that, good God, you have to go back and watch it. It is so good, and that car just, whoa, talk about transformation. Now onto the remap. The first thing I want to talk about regarding the remap, before we talk about power, which is the obvious thing, is efficiency. The amount of people that have commented and DM'd me asking how is the car on fuel now, because obviously it's delivering more power. You would assume that it takes more fuel now and it's using more fuel. Now, I filled up not long ago. I've got just over half a tank left and I've done 146 miles on it. So we could double that because, you know, I'm never going to run it to empty. But assuming that it does go for another half and we still leave it with 1 bar left, chances are I'll do about 300 miles on a full tank. which is 50 miles more than I would have done prior to having the remap. Like I said in the initial remap video, you don't have to have your foot resting as hard on the accelerator to keep it as like a constant cruising speed. That's whether you're doing 23 miles an hour like I am now, or 60, 70, 80. Like, honestly, I'm barely touching the accelerator. I can almost not even feel it, and it's just cruising along. Here we go. There's another bump here. So the up bit was not bad. Yeah, the down is just way worse. So yeah, I think efficiency. Who's going to complain about saving fuel and getting more power? You can feel that the car has more torque at the lower end of the revs, because like I said, you just gently put your foot on the accelerator and you're away. Now, I was having a chat with someone else in the comments the other day regarding the jumpiness of the DSG gearbox when you're at a standstill like I am now. If I turn it on, like, the car won't move and then it goes. So, and it feels like the brakes are a bit sticky, and it's always felt like that. That's nothing new. I'm sure other TT owners can relate, actually. But that being said, when the car is more warm, that eases up a bit. Maybe this is like a placebo effect, but I feel like it eases up a bit. And again, I think that's probably because of the torque. Now, enough about the efficiency and stuff like that. Let's talk about power and how this thing has just transformed the driving experience completely. I cannot fault it. Good news actually on that subject is Cardiff Remap have taken delivery of their new rolling road, which means we'll be able to go down there and make a custom tune for the car, maybe even get some bangs and crackles out of it, which would be quite nice without blowing the cat out of the exhaust. But yeah, we're just about to approach quite a long straight road here with not much traffic on it, and the power delivery is just so constant. It just doesn't, like, it's a weird one, man. I don't really like pushing the car too hard, like, one, because I don't want to break it, but mainly because I don't want to get caught by the police, man. They're everywhere at the moment. Like, the COVID police are out in force, and I'm not trying to get caught by those guys. But from launch controlling it, a rolling launch, or even just putting your foot down at 70 to overtake someone, there is absolutely no shortage of power, which I love. I love knowing that I can overtake people. I love knowing that I'm more than likely going to beat everyone off the line, like this guy. Yeah, it's a joke, honestly. The noise of the car is way better. It's louder. It's the induction kit, you can hear it sucking in more air all the time. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing, man. And the only issue I've had was right by here, actually. I'm about to turn right, and I was here the other day, and I wanted to beat the person coming towards me. So as you do, I put my foot down to the floor to beat the oncoming traffic. Beat them no problem. But as I was coming around this corner, I changed gear manually, and I think it was just at the very moment the car was going to change gear as well, and it went, and then it just chugged, and I was like, oh damn, and all these warning lights came up on the dashboard. I was like, oh shit, man, I've broken it, no. Luckily, I called one of my friends, and he said, yeah, it's probably just a remap issue, because regardless of you changing gear whenever you want to change gear, and the car thinking it's going to change gear, it shouldn't happen. So he just said, turn the car off, turn it back on, and it should be fine. Did exactly that, and lo and behold, it was fine. So I think it probably was a remap issue, but it could have been me just messing things up. We'll never really know, but it might be worth bringing up to Cardiff Remap when the day comes, when we go back. But all in, I'm loving this. And the last thing I want to talk about actually is bang for your buck. I spent like 280 quid on the remap, 250 on the springs, and you can get them cheaper, by the way. The springs, I've seen them online on eBay. You don't have to get them from AP Automotive or whoever's selling them. Like AP Automotive were great, don't get me wrong, but if you are looking to save even a little bit more money, then I'll just send you a link or the exact specifications of the ones I've got, and then you can get them. But for less than £500 to transform the look of the car and the performance of the car, what more can you say, man? It's just great value for money. Warranties and stuff like that, I'm not even going to get into that subject, because, you know, it's a bit of a grey area. Is it voiding your warranty? Is it not? You know, I'll let you decide that. The risk versus reward is totally up to you. As long as you're not slamming the car around every single day and tracking it every single day, then you know, you shouldn't really have any issues. I am going to do another video on supporting mods for your remap, because at the end of the day you are putting more strain through the engine and more heat through the turbos and more heat through the intercooler and more heat through the radiators and all that kind of stuff. Heat is like the real enemy of this kind of stuff. Like, you can modify your car, it's not a problem, you can do it, but you have to ensure that you're also not just making it as fast as can be, but giving the car, you know, some room to breathe, you know. But yeah, that's it really, just a quick chat. I know I've been rambling on, but nothing new there. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, Facebook. Drop a comment below if you disagree, or if you agree, or if you've got the same mods as me or different ones. Just have a chat, man. You know I'm in the comments every single day, replying to every single one. So thank you very much for watching. Appreciate the support. We're nearly at 2K, another 200 odd subscribers, and we're there. So share the video, get it out there to your mates, and yeah, we'll do a nice little giveaway at the end. So yeah, thank you. We'll catch you next week. Peace.